kept promoting and promoting, and now, 45 years later, look what happened. I mean, now just about every medical report shows that how beneficial weight resistance training is for your body, for your muscles, for everything, for your health, for your heart, for longevity, for everything. And they're using it now for, you know, the rehab after operations, especially after orthopedic surgery and so on. There is not one single hotel. Like in this hotel, you go downstairs, you don't even have to ask, do you have a gymnasium? Any and every hotel has a fitness room now, has a place where you can use weights and machines and all of this stuff. So this is what has happened. This crusade has been extremely successful because we stayed on it. So I'm proud of that I have been part, not me alone. Many people have been part of this fitness crusade. We've fought it together, you know, and look how far we've come. And this is just the beginning. It will continue like that.
Your story is completely different than Ronnie's. Totally. You started out as a bantamweight. Now, for those who don't know, bantamweight is under 145.
That was 137.
137. And you went from bantam to middleweight to light heavyweight to winning your pro card to getting on a pro stage, winning a pro show, to winning the Arnold Classic, to winning the Olympia. I mean, nobody will ever do this in history again. There's no question, Dex, ever. But your goal wasn't to win the Olympia. I mean, you've said many times, we've had interviews over the years, you wanted to be the Arnold Classic champ, you saw yourself as the Arnold Classic champ, you figured maybe I could even catch Flex somewhere there with his 4 championships, which you did. But you didn't see yourself as Mr. Olympia, why?
Well, because, you know, back then, as I was coming up, all the guys were always big, huge guys. You know, you had Frank Zane, that was, you know, he was smaller, but, you know, when I started competing, then it was Lee Haney, and then came Dorian, and
some big boys,
some big guys. So I was like, you know what? I don't even want to get that big. It was a fight for me to get the size that I am now, because when I first started looking at the magazines, it was like, you know, I didn't want to be that big. I didn't want my quads all rubbing together and stuff. I didn't want to be like that. You know what I'm saying? So as you start training, you start getting better and winning and winning and winning, your mindset starts to change. So I started getting okay when my legs got bigger, and I, you know, it started rubbing a little bit, and I started getting used to it, tearing up jeans and stuff, you know. But I never thought I would ever win the title, because there were so many big, great champions, and so you know, I said, you know, the Arnold Classic was more towards a leaner, aesthetic type physique. Those are the guys that were winning the Arnold. So I set goals to actually you know, to actually win the Arnold, and I accomplished that. And then I was like, well, let's try it again. And you know, I kept doing well. So.
Well, you had great success at the Olympia. I mean, you had won to that point, but you were the perennial, you know, top 5. You got a Dexter Jackson. You know, there was no question about it. Right. But bring me back to 2008. We're on stage. I'm at the microphone. It comes down to you and Jay. Now, as we do things at the Olympia, for those who have been there, I like to announce the winner. So we don't do the second place and everybody kind of by default knows who won. I think it's kind of interesting and kind of cool to announce the winner, and that's something that's become an Olympia tradition now. I bring you guys out to the center. What's going through your mind at that point? Are you still thinking, you know, this second place is going to be good?
Yeah.
But
I'm like, dang, man, I'm about to get a fat check, second place. You know?
That's a pretty good check, too, yeah.
Dexter, I'm going to stop you here, because did you, after prejudging, because we all know it's a 2-day prejudging, it's a prejudging and night show, where did you feel in your heart you were after prejudging on Friday night?
Well, I felt I was better, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win because you think you're better. You know what I'm saying? There's been many times I thought I was better than the other guys and didn't win. It's just how it is. You know, judges see things differently than we do. So, but, you know, I felt confident. I thought I could win, but I didn't think I was going to win.
So even coming into Saturday night, confident, but you didn't think that?
I did not. I didn't know I was going to win until they actually called my name.
And so it was a complete surprise for you.
That's why I fell on the ground like Ronnie. He can cry more than anybody.
Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, you guys are center circle. There's 10,000 people in attendance. He's the champ. You know,
Yeah,
the odds are against you. I mean, obviously, as you all know, it's a big man's game. He's the champ. I mean, all this. I drag it out as long as humanly possible.
You know, I've always said my whole career, you know, I'm not the biggest and I'm not the best. But, you know, coming up to where I have come from and put on the type of muscles that have maxed to, you know, my physique, and I get in crazy condition, if you're caught slipping, you know, if you're not on your A game, I can beat you. So that's how I've made it in my career. You know, I've beaten I've beaten everybody I've competed against. You know, so, and that's how I beat them, because I'm consistent. So I knew going into the show, and over the couple of years, Jay he wasn't getting better, he was getting worse. So I knew he was gonna try and play the side, you know, he was gonna try and play the condition game with me. If he played that game, that's why I beat him in GNC that one year, because he did that. Had Jay come in, there's no way I would have beat him, period. I was on my A game, but guess what? If he was on his, I couldn't beat him. So I had to catch him slipping in order to win.
Well, the name isn't Jay that comes out of my mouth, it's Dexter, and the whole world stops.
I'll give you a jacket, Dex.
Take off my jacket.
Get all kinds of requests here, Dex. What goes through your mind that second? Boom, you're Mr. Olympia.
Just all the hard work. I don't know if you guys know my story, but all the tough times I had coming through the ranks. You know, my whole family sleeping on the floor when we first started. You know what I'm saying? And you know, my wife at the time, you know, she worked 2-3 jobs. While we had a game plan, while you stay home and train, take care of the kids, I'm gonna work. You know what I'm saying? But all her friends are like, you get that little sorry joke out of there. He ain't working or nothing. You know how women do. You know how they talk about us. But now they're like, girl, you did the right thing, girl. You know, but it all worked out for the good. You know, we had a game plan, and by the grace of God, it turned out to what we planned.
It sure did, bro. Well, you found yourself as Mr. Olympia. You're still competing now. I mean, and now the funny thing is, you know, you had maybe a year or so in there where you kind of took a little dip uncustomarily to you, because people, your consistency is your hallmark.
Right.
And people were writing you off. Oh, yeah. Hey, listen, he's getting old.
And honey, Ronnie too?
I never wrote you off.
Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't.
You was the first one to say it, didn't you?
He's finished. He needs to hang him up. What the hell's he thinking? But seriously, all you did was kind of reinvent, kind of go back, make some changes, rededicate it, not that you weren't to begin with, but I mean really put, you know, your 100% in, going out to California, training with Charles Glass, I can see, doing things that you had never had to do to that point. The body changes over the years, which you're the first person to attest to. And then, here comes Dexter again, now winning, continuing to win shows now into your 40s, the veteran competitor out there, some of these young guns coming up, and you're still holding your own at the Olympia.
I can't even explain it. Old man still got a young body, I guess. But anyway, yeah, you know, a few years ago, my body wasn't acting right. I didn't know what was going on. I don't know if it's because I was competing so much, because I have done 6 to 8 shows, so just to let you guys know that. And I've been fortunate enough to place top 5, 6 out of those 6 to 8 shows. So you know, so I believe in, you know, putting in work. So I don't know if it was that, or, because I even called Honey, I even my trainer, I even called Honey. I'm like, Honey, help me out here, man. You remember?
Yeah. Oh, to be honest with you,
I didn't even like Honey at that time. I'm joking.
But at the end of the day, I think that you made an adjustment, because what happened was you hit your 40s, and then you kind of hit that wall, and that wall hit you all of a sudden. And where you had gone, where 20 minutes of cardio to get ready for a show, a little bit here, a little bit there, all of a sudden now you had to actually make some actual changes to be able to overcome the age barrier. And most people hit that barrier and can't get over it.
Right.
But you did, and not only did you do it, but you came back full force.
Right. See, you know, my whole career, you know, I've been 25 years now. It's been 15 years on the pro level. And, you know, I think I set my career in stages. You know, the first 5 years I did no cardio. Now, it's got a lot to do with genetics too, so don't do what I did. I'm just saying, if you got good genetics, then you can do this. But the first 5 years as a professional and all my amateur career, I did no abs, I did no cardio, I did nothing.
Gotta hate you.
You know, I can diet for 6 weeks and do a show. So I had crazy, super fast genetic metabolism and great genetics. So I want to take it to the next level, you know, because I wasn't placing as well as I thought I should in the shows and didn't know why. I was super shredded on the pro level, but then I found myself backstage crying and stuff, and Flex was like, and Ronda's like, oh, you okay, young boy? You're gonna be okay. Just keep at it. So I sit down with Flex one day, I was like, what should I do? And Flex was like, you know, you need to get with his trainer. So, and I asked Flex who? Flex said, you need to get with Joe McNeil. He trained me, so, you know, he was the man back then. He retired for 7 years, and he came out of retirement to train me. So we did big things together, won a few shows, you know what I'm saying? We won 3 Arnolds together, and we even won Olympia together. Okay, so, but then I hit a wall again. And that's when I saw a picture, I'm like, I don't have one line in my glutes, what's going on? And Arnold was like, yeah, you looked all ate up there, bro. Your legs were gone. You remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Talk. That means
I kind of like tell people how it is, and unfortunately, you were over competing at the time.
And I like when people, and guys always get somebody in your corner, like myself, like Honey, who gonna shoot you till you straight 100%. If you look like crap, tell me. I want to know. And he straight up told me, and I said, you know what? I need to make some changes. So, then George came around, George Farah. So we did some things together, man. He put me on off-season detox, and we did all kind of off-season stuff together, and my body clicked back in again. And I even changed my trainer when I started training with Charles Glass. So everybody was tripping at first, just like with the girls was talking to my girl trying to tell her you're crazy for letting them do this. Same thing when I went out to California. You going all the way out to California training with Charles? Well, you could do that right here. See, but we don't understand, back in Jacksonville, is where I'm from, there are the 0 big guys. I'm the biggest guy in the whole town. When you go in the gym, you might see 3 guys in there. So it's, if I would have stayed home, I'd be retired by now because of no motivation. So when I went to go and step foot in at one time, I knew this is where I need to be. So I went out, started training with Charles, and we started doing some other things. And a lot of guys think that you got to do all these compound movements. You don't have to do all these compound movements. I'm a prime example of that. I think you know that, right? You see how big Phil is. He don't do a whole lot of compound movements. You know what I'm saying? So don't get in your head that you got to do all these compound movements. Maybe at the beginning, I'm sure Phil and I, we did do a lot of compound movements. But as you start getting put on size and get bigger, and longevity, and training and stuff, you got to start being smart. Because I've been training 25 years and never been injured. Listen to your body. If you start getting aches, you get any strains, anything, take off. Don't train until it actually heals 100%.
There's a reason why Ronnie had 3 back surgeries. So, I mean, there's several different types of methods, whether you call, volume method, like an FST, what I had created, German volume training, and then there's the Ronnie Coleman Yeah Buddy training system, which is like 800-pound front squats. And eventually with that stuff, it does catch up to you. And it's one of those things where Dexter and Phil are on the more volume approach, on the isolation approach. They're not doing that crazy weight.
Right.
And because of that, they're less likely to have those long-term repercussions that Ronnie's, is going through right now because of that.
Yeah, thanks. You're all about reinventing yourself. You wrote the book on reinventing, and a lot of people were asking, obviously, this weekend, how come you weren't on stage? We thought Dexter would be going for the Arnold Classic title to break the record, but you've got some new stuff in the works. And speaking of reinventing, I want to give you an opportunity to tell everybody why you weren't on stage this week, but why you are here.
Well, the reason why I wasn't on stage is I launched my new supplement line. It's called Blade Nutrition. I've got 6 products at the booth as we speak. So if you guys are, all gluten-free products, you know what I'm saying? I got with Juggernaut, the guy that runs, has Juggernaut, Infinite Labs. We got together and formed a line. I went with this guy because I knew And I've been taking his products over the years, you know. So I knew he had good product, and I wanted to team up with somebody that I know when I release something, it's going to be a good, high quality product. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to take it myself and buy. I'm tired of buying everybody else's stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I wanted to get something that I can take, that I know it's going to be good. You know what I'm saying? So we developed this product, man. We actually went out, him and I, and he's the owner. We actually went out. He owns 4 GNCs. So we went and looked at every product you see on the shelf. And you know what? We're trying to best these ingredients in all these products. So that's what we did.
Good. Well, Dex, we got some, the crowd's going to be here just for a little bit longer. We've got some some Arnold Classic champions that we're going to have to bring up. So, are you going to go back to the booth? You're going back today at the expo?
Yeah.
You got any specials for my people here?
What's your booth number?
1425.
1425, everybody. So
if you guys coming back, you know, if you guys coming, go back to the expo, stop by my booth, man, and sample some of our products, and even some for sale as well.
Beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Olympia, Dexter Jackson.
Thank you, guys.
Blade Nutrition. Booth 1425 at the expo. If anybody's going to go back to the expo today, stop by. Dex will be there. Thanks, Dex.
All right, buddy.